What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Darkness here. I'm going to talk about the meta for next year, and also I'm making this video for Yu-Gi-Oh! Metagame TNT group, right? And well, most of the duelists from our country, right? From our small island of Trinidad, right? We just want to recognize that have real good duelists down here, right? So I'm going to get straight into the video. Right, so we're gonna just go into basically what Konami will release next year and the kind of ideas we have about the banlist in March. Basically, they're bringing out Cosmo Blazer, right, and this will have plenty new cards, plenty new decks to be constructed, and the whole game gonna open up next year. And right now we have like the majority of strong decks that are taking over the meta. We still have windups doing well. We have Rescue Rabbit, we have Macro Rabbit doing extremely well, even in the States down here, right? In Japan, it might be a little different, but down here by us, Dino Rabbit, they're still too strong, right? We have other decks like Dark Wars and Light Swans, those are in the majority also, but they just kind of reach that tier 1 level. So basically, we're gonna take a look at the future, right? What we can expect next year come March 1st, right? Cosmo Blazer, something to look forward to, right? Konami, as usual, gonna push their products, right? We going straight into XYZN, so they're gonna have to do something about all the Dino Rabbit and windups come next banlist, right? So we're gonna go into that, right? So let's go take a look at Cosmo Blazer. Right. So we have Cosmo Blazer here, and we're seeing new archetypes coming out. We have the Fire Kings, right? We have the Fire Foundation, right? We have all these new cards coming out, right? We just saw the Atlanteans and the Mermaids being released, and they're doing some damage right now in the tournaments, right? Not by us, but in the States, Atlanteans still being up there, right? But we just need to take a look at what is in store for us for next year. We have many new decks, many things to look forward to, right? It's not gonna be the same old decks that we're gonna be using all the time. Again, Dark Wars, Light Swans, Macro Rabbit, Windups, Atlanteans, right? Things are gonna change next year, and the two things that are gonna open up the game will be the release of this set, Cosmo Blazer, and also Hidden Arsenal 7, which will be releasing most likely, I think, in like January, February, right, for our TCG. So I think those two sets will be the major thing to open up the game, right? It will open up the game down here, it will open up the game throughout the world, I think, you know. So I'm gonna get into it here. Hidden Arsenal 7, we seeing completion of Gem Knights, we seeing the big card XYZ coming out, Lava Chain, right? And plenty of people talk about the lavas, they might do something, but we haven't seen consistency yet from the lavas, but they are a very strong deck. And we're going down here now, and we're seeing Constellar. So I'll be going into that just now, and also the Evil Swarm, right? Which is called Vez in Japan. And these are the new types that will be coming out next year, and they are something to reckon with. And I don't think they should be taken lightly, because they have powerful cards Konami release, and they will make an impact next year when March 1st come, right? So we're gonna take a look at them and see what they can do, right? So we go straight into the Fire Kings, right? This is the Fire King deck. This basically is the Fire King big monster, Garonex, right? He is the one that is a dark hole every standby phase, basically, and he clearing board right through. So basically, he is a strong monster for the deck. Same thing for Sacred Phoenix. If your opponent drop a whole back row, which we get a lot down here, you activate this card here. Once out of the Fire Kings, you bring Sacred Phoenix. Next standby phase for you, Sacred Phoenix come back and blow entire spell and trap field on board. So, you know, it's something that is very strong, and all these cards here are very powerful cards that will be released come January. So we have to take note of them. This guy here is the major one for the deck. He basically is a tour guide for the beast, right? He is a tour guide for the beast warriors, and he can be added from this spell card here, 10 key, right? So basically you have a router to add him at any time, and that is what makes this deck so brutal, is that you can basically start off with Barong, you can destroy Barong, and then you can add this spell card to your hand in the next standby phase, right? And you can use Baron effect with this spell card, right? And basically plenty pluses and plenty destruction, right? And then after Baron is in the grave, you add this with your router, which is the tanky, and you add this, and he's the tour guide, and he brings him out, which again is another plus, right? You basically add another tanky to the field, and you add back Wolfman to your hand for next turn. So it's basically a strong play, and when this deck goes off, it is very hard to come back, right? Because of Garunix, right? His ability to just keep coming back all the time. You have to use resources like Prison to get rid of him. You have to use Fisher. You have to use DD Crow. Those kind of things to get rid of him, right? So he is kind of hard, you know. We did do some testing with this deck, and the deck is very strong against Dino Rabbit, right? And basically it is up there, and I will believe that this will be tier 1 next year, right? Down here we usually side a lot of outer play. So once the person who built this deck built to counter out of play also, they won't have any problems at all, right? So the Fire Kings will be one of the new archetypes to come out for next year, so we're looking forward to seeing them in action. Again, to get the cards will be very easy. Konami providing us with everything that we need, right? No excuses of, you know, the cards aren't there anymore, right? So we will have to just take a look at how this deck works for us, right? So moving on again, right? We going on to the Fire Fist now, right? Now the Fire Fist, right? As we can see, Konami are pushing the different archetypes that, the different attributes that weren't ever strong back in the days. You know, light and dark always being number 1 right through, right? We had that, we had Light Swans, then Twilight, right? And Black Wings also back in the days. And there was never any fire deck that can really say was very strong, right? I know very long time ago, water deck was like with the water lord, you know, you blow the field with Umi and you destroy the field, but that was so long time ago, they didn't really get anything else to really make them strong. So we can see Konami now unleashing its authority in these new attributes, right? Basically this now is the fire fist monsters, right? These monsters are also just as powerful as the Fire Kings, right? And they basically add a lot to hand, right? And that I find is a kind of setback in that, you know, Thunder King is seeing a lot of play right now, and I don't think Thunder King gonna get limited at any time. So to be adding right through, they have a little, it might just basically slow down the deck, but they can still get over. This one we go through, Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Bear, he's very strong, right? You basically activate 10 key, you add him to hand, you summon him, you use his ability, you send 10 key to the grave, you destroy a monster, you attack, you put another 10 key on the field, right? So very, very strong move, right? And this one is the next one to him. Gorilla, he destroys spell and trap, right? His then we have Dragon. He basically adds one whenever you activate a Fire Foundation spell card, right? And then we have Hawk, which is basically like searcher for the spell card, right? Like a Sangon, right? Basically that, you know. And but this here is the main one, right? Brotherhood of the Firefish Chicken. And I know we eat a lot of chicken, right? But this chicken just broke, right? He basically, when he special summon to the field, you can add a Firefish monster to your hand, right? Let's take a look. You can add one Firefish monster from your deck to your hand, right? And he basically comes with this dude, the Horse Prince, right? You can bring him out with Horse Prince and add one to your hand and then use this stencil spell card to normal again and XYZ after into them, right? So very bro combos, right? It's just to see how consistent the deck is when it goes up against the tier ones, right? But they are very strong, right? They are up there. And one card too that also is awesome is this Tenzin. That can also be searched from the effects, right? And basically you're increasing a monster by 1000, right? And that is so good, you know. So the Firefist, they have some very good ability. Again, we see Wolf Boy coming back here, right? He is the bro card in all the fire decks, right? You'll be seeing a lot of him being played, right? Because he's basically he basically is a kind of 4-star tour guide to spam rank 4s, right? And he can make this guy here, which will be coming out in Cosmo Blazer, right? Direwolf the Terrafang, and is basically a scrap dragon, right? For beasts. So he will be that is the first rank 4 XYZ to come out to really destroy something, right? So he will be something to think about when next year come, right? So we going on again.